So we're going to explore voting to begin with. And in our country, we vote simply by making our first choice on whoever we want for president or for senator or for Congress. And we're going to talk about that method. But before we do, we're going to talk about a different way to cast a ballot called a preference ballot. Let's suppose instead of just voting for your first choice, you get to rank your choices. This is called a preference ballot when you get to rank your choices. So suppose that in this particular vote, we're going to vote on whether or not we go to a vacation for a certain Latin American country. So maybe we're going to go to, our choices are Mexico, Peru, Argentina, and Ecuador. And we're going to vote, and we're going to put them in the order of what we would prefer as our vacation destination. So if I want Peru as my first vacation destination, I'd list that first. And then let's say Mexico was my second choice, and then Argentina my third choice, and Ecuador my fourth choice, and I would list them in the order of my own preference. All right, now we're going to pretend that 20 people voted, and we have their preference ballots listed here. So in other words, this first person who voted, their first choice was Argentina, their second choice for a vacation was Peru, their third was Mexico, and their fourth was Ecuador. And we have 20 of those preference ballots listed here. Now, the first thing we're going to do is kind of total up this information that we have by making a preference table. So let's notice that the first column, that voter voted Argentina first, Peru second, Mexico third, and Ecuador fourth. So what we want to do is go through and count up how many people had this same ballot. All right, so how many people had A, P, M, E? So let's see, here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, and it doesn't look like there's any here. So there were 3 people who had that particular set of preferences. All right, now let's look at M, P, A, E. Here's 1, so that's 2. Here's 1, MPAE 3. Here's another one, MPAE 4. 5 that had that preference. So 5 that had the preference MPA. E. All right, now let's look at PMAE. So there's 1. I don't see any there. Looks like there was only 1 that had that preference. All right, so let's go to APME. ME, APME. All right, so let's see. Here's 1 APME. 2 APMEs. Looks like 2 of them. All right, now let's go to EMPA. IMPA. Does not appear to be any more of those, so we'll just have 1. Okay, so let's go to MPAE. We've already used that one. That was our second one here. PAME. All right, so that's a new one. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it looks like that's it. So 5 of those. Okay, so there's our PAME. First one was here. APME we've already put on there. Another PAME, another PAME. All right, so how about PAEM? That's certainly a new one. Right, so there's one. And that appears to be all. All right, PAIM we've already used. PEAM, I believe, is a new one. Yep. So PEAM. So let's see, there's 1, 2 of those. All right, so I've got those. Now MPAE we've already used. PAIM we've already used. MPAE we've already used. MAPE. I don't believe we've had MAPE. No. All right, so MAPE. And let's see, there appears to be no other MAPEs, so there's just one of those. All right, now MPAE we already had. EAPM. Okay, I don't think we've got that one. EAPM. All right, and there's only one of those. And then we've already used PEAM over here. Okay, now, it's easy to make a mistake here, so let's go through and count up. We should have 20 voters accounted for here at the top. So let's see, that's 8, 9, 11, 12, 17, 18, 22. So, did I make a mistake? Let's see, I may have made yes, indeed. Let's notice that I accidentally listed ACME twice. And that's, of course, how we catch those errors. So it's kind of a good thing that I made that mistake. So we can see that, all right, I have made a mistake in there. Let's take that one out. All right. So I now have my table. Of course, I could go in and delete this particular column. And there I've got my table now with 20 votes. All right, now, if this was a plurality situation, plurality is what we do in the United States. It's number of first place votes wins the election. All right, so let's use plurality on our preference table. The truth is, when we're doing plurality, we're only looking at first choices. So if we look at first choices, we have that Argentina would get only 3 votes. Let's notice. It's the only those people. Mexico would get these 5, and this one over here, so it would get 6 votes. All right. Peru would get this one, these 5, so that's 6. And this one here, that'd be 7. And these 2 here, it would get 9 votes. Well, I can't type. And then Ecuador. Let's notice Ecuador would get this 1 vote here and this 1 vote here, so it would get 2 votes. So if this came down to a plurality election, the winner is Mexico with 6 votes.